This is Bharadwaj and that is the 2022 Maruti Suzuki Ertiga CNG, and we are here in Delhi to test drive India's only passenger MPV with a factory fitted CNG kit. Let's get started. So this new Ertiga, what is new in this is right now Maruti is offering this particular CNG MPV in two variants for the 2022 model. It is available in VXi and ZXi that you see right here in front of you, and this is also available for the commercial segment with a Tour M badge. Now speaking about pricing, the VXi is priced at 10.43 lakh and the ZXi that you see here is priced at 11.53 lakh, and the Tour M model is priced at 10.41 lakh. All these prices are ex-showroom Delhi. Now speaking about color options, this particular MPV gets a whole host of colors, including two new shades that have been introduced for this particular model, and this is one of the new shade that is in brown and reddish color that absolutely looks good in this MPV format. So now starting off with the changes in terms of exterior design, the biggest change would be the new chrome grille that you see here. Now Maruti has used abundance of chrome to give the front fascia a rich look. You can find it on the grille and also you can find it at the parts of the headlamp cluster. Now in terms of design change at the front, it is limited only to the new grille. Rest of the car from the front, that includes the front bumper and the headlight, remains the same. It continues to get a halogen unit. However, the low beam is a projector unit and the high beam is a reflector unit, and you also get halogen indicators. Now moving on to the side profile of the car, there is only one single change that has been done to the car, and that is one of the most prominent changes. The alloy wheel that you see here, yes, now it gets an alloy wheel courtesy of the ZXi variant, and it also gets a new pattern, that a dual tone pattern, and it looks absolutely fantastic. However, we feel that the wheel is a tad bit undersized for that wheel arch that you see here, but without the missing body cladding, this certainly looks very premium and is a very matured look in terms of MPV. Now apart from the new alloy wheels, rest of the things on the side profile remains the same. You continue to get two large doors, especially the rear door is a little bit large for easy ingress and egress, and you get a large window as well. You get some chrome treatment in terms of door handles. However, the window line itself is blacked out and is a mixture of good blacked out interiors and a chrome highlight, and the ORVM continues to be body colored and also gets an integrated indicator. Apart from that, there are no other changes on the side profile. Now we move on to the rear and let's see what has changed at the back. Yes, you get a chrome treatment just for a rich look. Otherwise, the tail lamp and the badging and everything else remains the same. There have been no changes to the bumper as well. It continues to be the same as the previous model. Moving on, as you can already see, this is a ZXi variant, which is a high mid variant of the Ertiga lineup. However, here you can see that there is rear parking sensors, but there is no rear parking camera, even though this gets a 7-inch infotainment system, which Maruti could have taken full advantage of by giving a rear view camera. That is not present here. You might have to go the accessory route to get that feature. Now moving on, let me talk you through the boot space. And when it comes to CNG, this is the most interesting part for people who consider buying CNG vehicles, because that is usually where the CNG tank is placed. And now to access the boot, you have only one way. You can unlock the car and you can press on the request sensor here or the latch here. Once you click on it, you can open the boot. It's pretty light and it's on struts and you can easily operate it. However, voila, this is the CNG tank right here, and it is a 60-liter tank and it can take up to 9 to 9.5 kgs of CNG fuel depending on the fuel pump. That is something that you have to look out for. For example, it cannot take in the 7 people luggage that can accommodate in this car. What you can see here is a standard size cabin baggage for the aircraft, and you have 2 soft luggages right here. So this is all it can accommodate from the 250 liters of boot space that is available on the Ertiga CNG. Also, I would like to point out one thing is that what you see here is a seat that has been not reclined at all. It is in its first position. What you can do is you can certainly recline the seat to the full extent, but you will be suffering from lack of luggage space right here, so that you will have to compromise either on comfort or maximum boot space. So that was the Ertiga's boot space right here. Now let's move on to the interiors and let's see what are the changes that have been made on the inside of this particular MPV. Now moving on to the interiors, if you want to get inside the third row and to access the third row, you will have to pull on the latch on the middle row, and you will have to push it like this and enter from the space that is available here. Let me try to do that. Whew. Yes, actually it's pretty good. Yes, I'm able to sit, I'm able to enter very easily, and also I'm sitting a little upright. Let me get the seat reclined completely. Yes, right now, and yes, I think I'm very comfortable here, and this seat is not fully far back. However, let me just move on to that side and recline that side seat as well and see how's the space there, because here this is a long seat and I was not able to fully recline because of the luggage there. So that is what I mentioned earlier. However, I'm pretty decent and I can I have a fairly reclining, and I also have good amount of leg space here. The knee room is little compromised, however the leg room is pretty good, and I also have good amount of headroom, and I also have AC vents that come right at me because I'm sitting a little tall, and I have a good quarter glass to look out as well, and the large window certainly helps in not being claustrophobic. Also, other amenities, I get a cup holder, and definitely in this seat adults can do long hauls. However, they would need breaks, not so frequently, but they would definitely need breaks and get out to stretch their legs. So now I am sitting on the second row of the Maruti Suzuki Ertiga CNG, and there has not been any changes made. However, to improve the boot space, a little bit of the middle row has been compromised. That is unnoticeable as well. There you barely notice it. Also, you have good amount of leg room and good amount of knee room. This seat is adjusted to my height, and I still have a lot of space for my knees, and I can stretch it out as well. And also for the under thigh support, I have good amount of support, but the cushion could have been extended a little bit. So that's about it. So in terms of seating comfort, you have a good space. Also, because of this light interiors, that is the new upholstery on this new 2022 Ertiga, and also with this large window, you will feel very airy despite not having a sunroof. And speaking about airy, this is where the rear AC vents are present, and you also have a regulator to control the fan speed of the AC, and that's about it. And also, this being a CNG model, Maruti has placed strategically a fire extinguisher unit right here. That is a government mandated norm, and with that you also get a center armrest for the rear passenger. However, the width of the armrest is little too small. If you can see, I am placing my hand and there is not much space for other person to use this armrest. However, the width of the armrest is a tad bit small because two people cannot place their hands comfortably right here, but the armrest is still there and it is well placed as well. Now you get adjustable headrest for the two passengers on the rear, and you also get a 12-volt socket and a couple of mobile holders, and also a seat back pocket to place your devices while it is charging. Now we are sitting at the front seat of the all-new Ertiga CNG, and this is where the changes in the interior are most evident, because now you get a forward trim on the center of the dashboard that looks very premium and gives the cabin an upmarket feel. And also the dual tone interior seat fabric, what you can see here, is most evident and certainly uplifts the whole cabin with this beige interior theme. Apart from that, the changes that have been made to the Ertiga CNG is that the MID cluster on the instrument cluster right now gives a whole lot of CNG related details to the driver. That will include if it's using a CNG fuel, or how much fuel and CNG mixture is being done. All that details will be available right in front of the driver's eyes. Other features on this car have been carried over from the previous model and more or less remains the same. The 7-inch touchscreen infotainment system is courtesy of the ZXi trim, and it also gets wired Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and as I mentioned, it does not have a reverse parking camera, but it certainly has a decent sound system and it is really good. Now the climate control remains the same. You get a HVAC unit for the front, and for the rear you get a regulator unit. You get cool cup holders courtesy of the 2022 Ertiga facelift, and you get a new steering wheel with mounted controls that controls the infotainment system and the MID screen that is right in the front. And this particular variant also gets one more option, that is the push start button courtesy of ZXi, and also you get a button right here that you can manually switch between a CNG and petrol fuel options that is there on this MPV. Along with that, this cabin continues to be one of the most practical MPV cabins, and you get 1 liter bottle holders on the front and rear doors, and you also get a lot of storage spaces all across the cabin, and also you get a center armrest that you can slide forward and have a comfortable driving position, which is suitable for the long hauls that you would want to do on this Ertiga CNG. Now it's time to take this out on the road and tell you how this particular CNG drives. Let's get started. So now we are driving the all new Ertiga CNG variant, and this is where the changes are a little more significant than the features and the exterior design. Right now the Ertiga gets an all new engine. That's the 1.5 liter dual jet VVT. Maruti has given their 1.5 liter K series engine the dual jet VVT treatment, and right now the engine makes around 3 bhp less and 2 newton meters of torque less than the previous engine model. However, it has become more efficient, and also it now gets a smart hybrid system for auto start-stop technology, but that technology is not there in the CNG system because of dual fuel technology what this uses. Now in petrol mode, the car produces 100 PS and 136 Newton meters of torque. However, when you switch to CNG mode, it drops down to 86 PS and 121 Newton meters of torque. Speaking about the engine performance itself, when you switch between CNG mode and petrol mode, there is barely any power drop that is happening. Despite a deficit of around 24 PS and around 15 Newton meters of torque, you will barely notice it in the CNG mode. However, at times when you are in steep inclines or you are putting your foot down for hard acceleration, that is when you notice that CNG is a little laggy in terms of power delivery. It delivers the power in a very linear fashion and a little late than the petrol model. However, when you are in cities, you will barely notice it. We drove it in city roads and also on highways to test it out, how the CNG engine performs in CNG mode and petrol mode, and we are quite happy with the integration. As mentioned earlier, you will not be able to start this car with the CNG fuel. You will have to start it with the petrol fuel, and then you will have to switch over to the CNG mode, and you can manually switch over to between those two modes while you are running on the fly using a button that is placed on the right side console here. And speaking about performance figures, the Ertiga CNG does 0 to 100 in 13.5 seconds in petrol mode, and it takes around 2 seconds more to do it in the CNG mode, which is pretty healthy because this is no performance MPV. This is made to move people around, and it will do it with full grace. That I will give for this car. It can do long hauls. Now with the additional CNG tank, the total range that has been given to this car is more, and you can run a lot more kilometers in a single fuel tank of CNG and petrol together. Now finally, moving on to the aspect that people would switch over from petrol to CNG fuel is the mileage. What Maruti is claiming is around 26 km per kg, and when we tested, this was a very short drive, and we tested, we got around 22 to 23 kg in city and in highway traffic. Now we will report back with a more extensive review at a later date, but hitting that 26 km per kg mark is very much a possibility in this car. Now moving on to other dynamics of the Ertiga CNG, it has gained a weight of 50 kgs because of a CNG fuel tank, and this aids to actually a better handling than the petrol only model, because this is an MPV and additional weight is always welcomed because the ride is a little more better. However, 50 kgs is something that would barely make a difference for this large car. It continues to drive the same way as the older models, and there has not been much tweaks. You get a very light steering, and also the steering weighs up barely in high speeds, which can be a deal breaker for enthusiasts. However, for people mover or someone who is looking for long haul and wants this car to be hassle free, they will surely love it. Coming to the gearbox and the clutch, it is very light. The gear throws are very smooth, and also the clutch is very light. You can operate this at ease. You get a 5-speed gearbox only with the CNG model, and that's about it. If you want to drive this car in the city, and if you also want to take it around on highways and do long hauls, this can definitely be your good choice, and it continues to be one of the best MPVs in India right now. So that was our take on the Maruti Suzuki Ertiga 2022 CNG variant, and As I mentioned at the starting of this video, this is the only MPV that comes with a factory fitted CNG kit, and because of that there is a huge demand for this particular car, and also there is a long waiting period. Now if you are looking for a long hauling MPV, this can be your good choice with a very fuel efficient engine and also a value for money product. What did you think about this particular car? Mention them in the comments below, and also like and share this video and subscribe to DriveSpark if you haven't done it already. This is Bhardwaj signing off. Stay safe and drive safe.